Good morning. Welcome to your Sunday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, here with some words of wisdom for you to ponder today. And this card actually mirrors a card that I pulled with a friend of mine a bit ago. So I'm paying attention here. Like I always say, when things pop up more than once, we want to perk up our ears. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Glad you're here on this fine Sunday. We want to pay attention, okay? So let me see here. Something's grabbing me on the back. So I think I'm just going to read the back of the book to you. Good morning, Mel. Good morning, Cindy. Glad you guys are here. Here comes Mara. Welcome, welcome. So this card is really interesting, and there's a part of this card I'm going to take issue with. No kidding, right? Sounds like me. But it's the Priestess of Light deck by Sandra Ann Taylor and Kimberly Weber. Yay me! I have to test my memory now and then. We got to practice to keep this thing hopping, right? So when I picked the card and I looked at the picture, I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then when I read the words, I thought, oh, this is good. So our card for today is Power Over Difficulty. Power over difficulty. And look at that picture. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to back it up a bit so you can see the whole thing. But there are some notable features in here. I'm going to see if I can... And it's too bad you can't see the card like up close and personal, because I think it would help it make more sense. But there is a snake and there are swans in here. And what I'm taking issue with is her depiction of the snake, because I think snakes are much maligned. They're very useful critters, and I like to see them well cared for. But let's go with this idea of power over difficulty, all right? So some nice deep breaths. Because I would like by the end of this card for us to be considering perceived difficulties as actually opportunities. Yes, snakes are wonderful. Snakes are wonderful creatures. We've so totally maligned them. So, and I'm sure my friend Bonnie Kazitsky would agree with me. She used to raise snakes, and she had quite the plethora at one point. Good morning, Helen. Glad you are here. So we're talking about power over difficulty. Reclaiming our power. And again, a lot of us struggle with that word power, but I think this is about being able to effect change in your own life, being the master of your own destiny, as it were, with divine guidance, So, power over difficulty, reclaiming your power. This card brings you a warning that there are situations, people, or patterns in your life threatening to take over. So where are you capitulating your own authority, your own sovereignty, and allowing others to run the show illegitimately? The snake can be venomous, tempting, or even strangling. This card is an important reminder to be honest with yourself and investigate your relationships and your daily activities to determine what might be harmful or dishonoring to you or even consuming you. That last piece I think is helpful. What consumes you? And is it what you would like to have? And again, with the word consumed, I think we've modified that one to make it be an okay thing, as opposed to we have our passion, but our passion fills us and grows us as opposed to consuming us, okay? Let's see. If someone is bringing a toxic energy to your life, it may be necessary to let that person go or at least reduce your exposure dramatically. If a situation seems to be suffocating you or sapping your sense of freedom and enthusiasm, it's time to rethink your motivation for remaining engaged. And we did a bunch of work on this a while ago with regard to obligation. The things that we feel obligated to do, that we feel like are our duty, we need to relook at that stuff. And if you're feeling a building resentment for a job or personal task, this card is telling you to learn how to bring more conscious joy to the experience or exit it altogether. Good morning, Linda. Glad you're here. Also be mindful of all your own personal patterns. Here, I think this part is really important because we tend to be kind of blind to our own stuff. We can pick out each other's stuff real easily. Good morning, Diane. Welcome. But we tend to be blind to our own stuff at times. So this is about being mindful of your own personal patterns. Consider the causes of your making and the results they're creating. You don't want to become the snake that eats its own tail, consuming your own life force and sabotaging your own desire to move forward. So, what's sucking you dry? What is taking but not giving? There's things in our lives that are hard work, but they feed our soul. So it's fine to do those things. But there are those things in our life that drain our energy and really don't give us much back. Okay? So again, I want you to take a look at, what do you feel obligated to? And is there a way to change your thinking about that so that it becomes a conscious choice done lovingly as opposed to obligatory? All right? Always remember the indomitable strength of your inner spirit and true life force, represented in the card by the swans, who, in spite of their gentle beauty, are very powerful creatures, capable of striking anything that attacks. You have that power as well, and this card is telling you to strike out at your own self-sabotaging patterns and to break free of any other limiting influences holding you down. Become conscious and courageous in your ongoing choices. You have the power now. So I want to go back a little bit there because there's a real divine masculine flavor to that last part. You have the power as well, and strike out at your own self-sabotaging patterns. Let's reframe that a little bit. You can also use the divine feminine. Yes, absolutely, Carolyn. We can set boundaries. We can say, no, I'm not interested in that. No, that doesn't work for me. No. And if you have a hard time saying no, let me teach you a godsend for a little tool. Say to that person, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. Practice that even with things where you already know you're going to say yes and it's fine to say yes. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. I don't care if you take an hour, if you take 10 hours, if you take 10 days. Take the amount of time you need. Sometimes you'll walk away. When I first learned how to do this, sometimes I'd hang up the phone. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. And I'll hang up the phone and go, what are you thinking? Why on earth would you want to say yes to that? And then I can find my words for, I've thought about it and I don't think that's going to work for me at this point in time. Thanks for thinking of me. And write it out. Put it on a 3x5 card. If you don't trust yourself to say no and stick to no, when you call that person back, have it written out on a card. Then become the broken record. Yep, I hear what you're saying, but I really can't commit to that at this point. Yep, I understand. I just can't do it at this point. I hear what you're saying. Nope, I can't do it. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat until they go away. All right? And a lot of us need practice with that. Okay, so, and again, going back to this striking out at your own self-sabotaging patterns. How about being kind and loving to yourself? Discerning the pattern and going, wait a minute, this does not serve me. This does not serve me at all. And I love me enough to stop doing this to myself. Make a commitment and hold to that commitment. And if you find that you slip and you say, yes, I'll take on doing the whole drive-through at the church picnic, blah, blah, take a little bit of time. If you go, oh my God, what did I just do? Call back. I've rethought this. I'm sorry. I just can't do this. Say it. Be willing to disappoint others. Be willing to disappoint others. They're going to figure it out. They're going to find a way to do it. It's not your problem. It's not your baby. Let it go. Let it go. Lots of things we need to practice. Buy time. I think buying time is huge. Good morning, Beth. Being able to say, let me get back to you on that, instead of feeling like you have to answer right away. Nope. Let me get back to you on that. Good morning, Terry. Glad you are here. This is a good card. This is Power Over Difficulty. And it's about us, basically it's about us not shooting ourselves in the foot anymore. So we say, no, I can't do that. Thanks for thinking of me, but no. I understand you're needing help. I just can't do that at this point in time. repeat, repeat, repeat. You might want to, again, take a 3x5 card and put a bunch of different responses on there. So when someone calls you, you whip out your little card and you go, thanks, but no. I don't have the capacity for that. I don't have the bandwidth for that right now. Thanks for thinking of me. Whatever it's going to be. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you. If you can't squeak out anything else, if you can squeak out, let me think about that and I'll get back to you. Then you have opportunity. You can think it through yourself and come up with the words you're going to say to turn down that opportunity. Or you can have talk to someone you trust. Help me find a way to say no to so-and-so about X. All right? We don't need to be trapped in obligation. Because part of what happens with all of this is we then get so many plates spinning, we can't possibly be successful. And then we end up feeling bad about ourselves. Okay, I've got 12 plates spinning, 2 have just crashed. I feel crappy about that. People are upset. But I set myself up. I set myself up by saying yes to 12 plates. Nope, can't do that right now. And to be honest, that one just isn't really ringing my chimes. Thanks for offering it to me, but it really isn't resonating for me. I appreciate your thoughts. Another trick for some of this is once you've said no, shut up. Shut up. Because if you keep talking, you're going to talk yourself back into it. If you say no, and then you start counting in your head. So if I say, thanks for thinking of me, but I just don't have the bandwidth for that. Shut my mouth. Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, because the next person who speaks is taking that job with them. All right? And you don't want it to be you. Okay? So just some little handy dandy tools that you can use to free yourself from difficulties, to free yourself from complicating your life. Yes, no is a complete sentence. And if you feel like you have to pretty it up a little bit, no thank you. That's done. You don't have to offer explanation. It's nobody's damn business why you don't want to do something. No thank you. That's complete. Done. All right? So let's have some practice today. Find some opportunities where you get to say no. Think about some of the things you're already doing that you don't really want to be doing, and let's find your way to say no. If you would like to post the words you want to use in the feed, we can give you feedback. We can help you come up with some ways to make it no and make it stick. All right? That's going to be our mantra for today. Make it no and make it stick. So have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are, including saying no. Bye-bye.